Good afternoon. I'd like to call the Public Safety Committee meeting for June 5 to order. I'm Stephen Havey, your Public Safety Committee Chair. First off, we'd like to have a roll call, please.
Mr. Havey,
Here.
Mr. Sear,
Present.
Mr. Barnes,
Present.
Mr. Demick,
Here.
Mr. Healy,
Here.
Mr. Rumfelt,
Present.
Mr. Stockin, and Mr. Harris. 7 present.
Thank you. We need to do an approval of minutes of May 1. I will take.
Rumfeld move.
Thank you, sir. And a second?
Barnes.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those are approved. Thank you. First up, Mr. Ian Jones, the District Attorney. Good afternoon, sir.
We submitted the monthly report. The numbers, current month and prior month are almost identical, up a little over last year, but nothing that I feel is noteworthy. I'd be happy to take any questions, though.
If there was a variation in any of these, which one would you think would be noteworthy if there was?
Well, sometimes we do get the violations have pretty widely varying numbers. That includes traffic tickets.
Yeah.
So you never know what you're going to get there, and then, like through COVID especially, we had almost nothing there. But if we were to have a prolonged period, any month over month, you can have the numbers look like just about anything. If we were to have a prolonged period of felonies doubling on top of each other, I think we'd want to figure out why. But luckily, we have not had that.
Excellent.
Question.
Yes,
Yes.
sir. Go ahead.
Any future legislation coming down the way that we might have to be aware of?
Yeah, there's quite a bit of change coming. There's a few things that are already, I believe it's in October, one in particular that goes into effect. I believe that's the one that is the Clean Slate Act. We've talked about a little bit about this as a group, presented some of this to the board. I mean, I don't know how much detail you want me to get into right now, but there is certainly a lot more change coming. I think it's going to stay that way for quite some time, unless there's a serious shift in mentality in our state legislature, which I do not anticipate anytime soon.
Yes.
Also, it seems like since COVID anyways, I'm going to say that the unsentenced population at the jail has gone up. I know we always try to keep that number to kind of a minimum before because we had other clients for those facilities, but is there any particular reason you can attribute to that?
What do you mean by unsentenced population?
It'd be our local inmates that were unsentenced. You got sentenced and unsentenced populations in the jail.
So you're talking about people who are not serving a misdemeanor term, they are there for some other reason, like a violation of their probation?
Awaiting trial.
Awaiting trial.
Whatever, right.
Well, a lot of times what happens is when you have higher level offenses that take quite some time to get through. I know, just go in my head going through probably the folks who have been there the longest. It's because they are high level offenses, murder. In that particular case, the person is going through the process of whether or not he will be deemed competent to stand trial. If he is competent to stand trial, will he be, they're going for a not guilty by reason of insanity defense. These things take a lot of time, unfortunately.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Other questions? Mr.
Yes.
Barnes?
Off the cuff here, a recent New York State trial,
Oh, boy.
would you have any comments?
How much time do you want me to take?
You have
No,
30 seconds.
No, I'm sure everyone who knows me knows how I feel about that. So I really don't see the need to pontificate on it in this forum. I think the entire thing was a sham. That's my own personal opinion, so.
Thank you.
Yep.
Other questions? Janice?
Do we have any update on the cap court?
Well, I'm really not the guy to ask. I know some other folks in the room, Mr. Degnan in particular, our sheriff's office, they're the ones who really have spearheaded that effort. We're going to show up when cap court starts. So, you know, we have not, my office has not been integral in the planning of it. We have been updated throughout the entire thing as to dates, times, things of that nature. We know what we've known really from the beginning, from our perspective, what our obligation is going to be, and the obligation really we're imposing on ourselves, because we're not obligated to be there, but we're going to be there. When it comes, we'll be ready for it. We'll make sure we're there, and we'll make sure that we, you know, do our part during cap court. For us, it means that when you have cases that are, you know, a little more, not so black and white, you know, because right now, if there's a case that's going to be arraigned, a lot of times the analysis begins and ends with, is the charge the person is being brought in for right now, is this a bailable charge? That's an important part of the analysis, but it's often not the entirety of the analysis. Cap court is going to allow us to take for one, to know about every case, right? To know every time a case begins by means of an arrest, and then to make a more informed decision about what we think is appropriate for that person in terms of their custody status at that point in time. So we look forward to it starting, and we'll be ready when it does. But as far as the planning, when, you know, the logistics, that's really the jail's issue. But we'll be ready and looking forward to it.
I will ask someone at their turn,
Okay.
and thank you.
Sorry to set you up, guys. I didn't.
That's all right. Any other questions for the DA?
Okay.
Not seeing any. We appreciate your time and your energy. Thank you, sir.
Likewise, thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay, up next, we have the Public Defender's Office. I don't see Mr. Carter. I'm going to guess that we have
We have Wendy Tuttle from the Public Defender's Office.
outstanding. Thank you.
Yes, nice to be here. I do believe you received our report, and there are only two matters that I'd like to bring specifically to your attention, which would be to point you to the request to fill the position of a 6th Assistant Public Defender and 2 office aides. So
Okay.
with regard to those matters, I believe there has to be I think that those have been approved, but need to be, positions have to be filled, and maybe the request to fill has been expired, and so we have to have those requests reapproved, I believe.
So here we are.
Yeah, so if there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer them, or refer them to Mr. Carter.
Well, let's do this first. If we're going to address these, let's do the 6th Assistant Public Defender first.
Helium, move it.
Ronfalo,
you.
second.
Thank you. I see that it's funded by council at first appearance grant, so it's not coming out of county money.
Yes.
So this is good. Any questions on this matter? Yes, Mr. Barnes.
Yes, the hourly pay rate. What is that doing there?
Ms. Dean?
Shows hourly pay rate of $38,864.
Let's see.
It's a decimal
That's a
after the
decimal,
38.
Yeah.
$38.
$38.
Yeah,
All right.
do $38.
Looks like a big number.
All
That
of
would
our
be-
pay rates have 4 digits after the decimal for our
Got a lot of
workforce.
digits.
I'm assuming you have somebody lined up for this position now?
We are bringing someone in the end of June.
Thank you.
Excellent. Other discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that is carried. On the other matter, we're doing office aid. It looks like we're authorizing 2, is that correct?
That is correct.
Ronfalo,
Okay.
move that.
Thank you. And a second?
Demiko, second.
Thank you. And discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
there's 2, but they are what, part-time, correct?
Yes.
Yes,
And still 100% funded by the state.
that's correct.
Thank you.
These positions function primarily as a paid internship. So they really typically don't go beyond the summer months.
Thank you.
Very good. Other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? And that is carried. Let me back up just a touch here and see if there are any questions on the Public Defender's report, which was page 1. Anything on that, ladies and gentlemen? Nope. Everybody's satisfied. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, Conflict Defender. Mr. Degnan, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. I do have information on CAP, so
There,
I'll give you,
see?
I'll
That's
tee it
excellent.
up right away. But so we did submit our report with our numbers. Really nothing. I mean, it's extraordinary to the people, but nothing outside what normally happens. So
Yeah.
they keep coming. We keep assigning them. We have a fantastic pool that we manage, and it's been good so far.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? Well, let's, you want to entertain the cap court question, I guess?
So I have to thank the sheriff. Sheriff's been tremendous amount of help, and he's done a lot of hard work helping out on the cap. I've had a lot of meetings with him on that, and I think we have it actually ready to go July 1st. So the sheriff, myself, some others, and then OCA. So OCA indicates that they have the equipment. I think they got the training going for the justices. So the plan is that is going to start July 1st. So, and then,
The plan has now been accepted by the state.
yes, the plan's been accepted by the state. They've purchased the equipment. And in my understanding, it's ready to go. It's ready to go as of July 1st. And then we're going to do an 8 and a 6, so approximately 8, and then 6. So those are going to be the times. The Public Defender's Office has just hired somebody, so I think they're going to cover a large portion of that. And then we have a grant to cover another portion of that, and that's part of the MOE for us. We haven't figured out logistically for the MOE. We've met with ILS a lot. They've provided funding for us to, and I'll just go kind of jump into the MOE. It's $250 a day to be on call for an 18B attorney, then $150 if you go out in the morning, then $150 if you go out in the evening. The justices get a flat $200. So they don't get the on-call number. And so the maximum you're going to get is $550, no mileage, and it should all be covered by grant. In fact, it's all going to be covered by the grant, and we modified our budget this year to put in a specific line for that. And I know the Public Defender's Office has extra money, so that should be totally covered by grant.
Mr.
Okay.
Chairman?
Let's have somebody move that.
Ron Felder, move it.
Thank you. And a second? Second?
I have a question.
Okay. And now it's time for a question. Go ahead.
What is an 18B attorney?
So an 18B attorney, and this, I always just thought of them as assigned attorneys, but I guess when you get fancy, you call them 18B. It's just 18B is a section under the law which provides for assigned counsel. So it's essentially, you have to be on the assigned counsel panel in order to get that money. So that's really where it is. And so I think it helps the county a lot because that's all money that is grant funded. So that's 100% reimbursable under our grant versus a portion on the assigned counsel. So I think it does provide the county, in my mind, a significant savings and is pretty helpful overall.
Very good. Other questions? Oh, Mr. Harris.
So the on-call, we can expect that to be 365 days a year from here until the end of time?
360, but the, my portion of the program is not going to cover the 365. So we're trying to work that out now in conjunction with the Public Defender's Office. So originally, we were thinking about preliminarily some weekends, but we're not going to cover the entire amount, the entire coverage is not going to be by the 18B or assigned counsel program.
So, don't want to get too
Yeah.
crazy here, but the public defender's office can conflict out at the point of arraignment?
No, so they just don't have the bodies to cover all the arraignment time. So they hired the new, or they're going to hire the new person to do arraignments, but they can't do arraignments 7 days a week. So to fill in that gap, I guess the plan is to have assigned counsel or 18B attorneys do that.
So for the sake of your scheduling, are you just going to assume that you're going to need an on-call Saturdays and Sundays?
I think preliminarily, we're going to try to cover Friday to Sunday, but that's going to be dependent on bodies. So we have to, there's a number of people we've talked to, but we haven't lined up a schedule yet because we have to line up the money. Once we line up the money, then we can line up the people. And then we've got a lot of interest. I think right now we have 10 people who are interested in it. So it looks like it could provide the entire schedule, but I don't know if it will or not. And then if it doesn't, then our position is it falls back to the public defender's office.
Jan?
Okay, thank you.
So when your grant is up, this becomes a county expense?
I guess you could put it there. I don't anticipate it's going to. Our position is that you're going to have counsel at arraignment regardless. So from my perspective, if the grant did dry up, let's say they cut the grant off, which I don't anticipate, but then you would just reverse it because this is a permissive program for the 18B assigned counsel people. So it would not be a program that you were locked in. Public Defender's Office is locked into it for sure, but we're not locked into it. So I think the legislature of the county does have flexibility on that matter, but right now, part of our contractual relationship with ILS is we're going to do this. We're on a 3-year program, so you can anticipate for the next 3 years it's going to be covered until we get the new one, and then at that, I don't anticipate it changing, but but that's sort of how I look at it, is that we're coming in and that just sort of to help out, and really big help. But yeah.
Other questions? All right, hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? That is carried.
Thank you. So then we just have our second one. This is to provide grant money to send 18B attorneys or conflict attorneys to certain conferences. We have a big conference every year in Saratoga. So we'll send some people out there. We'll pay for their hotel. We'll pay for their mileage, and they go out there, and I think it's a 2-day event.
So moves here.
Pardon me?
Grandfather second.
We do like to have you here, honest. Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Mr.
Oh,
Mr.
I'm
Chairman,
sorry.
there also is an additional part beside the conferences that I would like the conflict defender Degnan to put on the record too, because it pertains to mileage. And we need to have that included in the resolution that goes forward before the board, full board.
Continue, sir.
So to fund the mileage as well to drive out there.
All right, very good. All right, we've had a motion and a second. Are we ready? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that is carried.
I think
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Have a wonderful afternoon.
Thanks.
Okay. We are up to EMS, Emergency Services, Fire. Shelley is here from that office to walk us through this. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You should have the 3 reports from each division of our office in front of you. And there wasn't too much to point out other than the fact that we all tried to participate in the Stop DWI mock accident and are continuing to push for the Stop Bleed trainings as well.
Yeah, I've read the reports. They're pretty complete. Does anybody have any questions on the reports? We do have a couple of, somewhere, MOEs. The first one here is the appointment of Dylan Chamberlain from Jones to fill the vacant spot in the Southwest Regional EMS Council. And I will take a motion on that.
I'll move it.
Thank you.
second.
I'm
Thank you.
sorry, Mr. Chairman, you actually, this was the one we don't need a resolution
We don't need a
for.
resolution for this
This
one?
was just an FYI because the
This is
EMS
FYI.
Advisory Board can
And you told
makes
me
this.
that too, and I
Yep.
apologize.
Nope, I'm okay, I've got you.
And that's why you're here. Okay, that's informational, and we appreciate that. However, we do have another one here, an appointment to the Allegheny County EMS Advisory Board. And I'm going to have trouble with this. It's going to be Ferdy. Ferdy, how do you pronounce it? Hang, huh? Whatever. This person here has been recommended for the County EMS Advisory Board, and that, I believe, does require a vote.
Demick will move. Seer will
Thank you.
second.
Thank you. Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that is carried. Thank you very much. See, we were easy on you.
Thank you. Have a good afternoon.
You too. Okay. Up next, Scott Granatier, Probation Director. Sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. In addition to the monthly report, I have a lot of information here to share with you. I'll try to condense it, but before I go into some of the more, the narrative here, I wanted to just take any questions you have on the monthly report. Numbers continue to remain steady. Pretrial services is extremely busy, as usual, and we are doing very well in our big four, sex offender, pretrial, DV, and our DWI focuses.
Any questions on any of that? Sounds like everybody digested that well.
Okay. The information I'd like to share with you today is generally in the realm of our financial systems, and I'm looking to do some upgrades, not in necessarily the, as the designated collection agency in the county for all the courts, we need to update our systems and how we manage the intake and disbursement of financial fees, restitution, fines, surcharges, all kinds of things. I've got three parts I've kind of outlined here. I won't go into detail with all of them, but I just want to kind of highlight what our plan is. We already accomplished step one, which is implementing an on-site terminal for cashless pay through Allpaid. It's a third-party collection agency through the web. This is something we've recommended probationers use before, but I think having one on site is going to be increase our collection rates significantly across the board moving forward. And we've been able to do that at no cost to the county, other than some minor equipment changes at our front desk, and that just launched on Monday. So the part two of that is we are looking to implement the existing financial management system within our Caseload Explorer. We have been paying for this for years under our Audemon contracts. We've never utilized it. We were able to look at this, and it's the end result in some neighboring counties. We're very impressed with how it operates, what it does for departments, and it's going to be a heavy lift to get us there, to get all that data into the automated system. But I think it's going to be well worth it to the department and the county in the long run to have this done once and for all. We're one of the few counties in the state that's not utilizing the software, and we are paying for it. It is included. So there'll be no extra cost. It'll be some cost on the probably the labor end of it. It's going to be a heavy lift. My goal is to have this live January 1st of 2025. We will continue to run parallel with the old way and the new way for the better part of 2025 to make sure we're solvent. But I think it's going to be a big step for the department. And step 3, which was, I want to just touch on this real quick. I do not have an MOE related to this. I'm going to withdraw that MOE after further discussion with the county administrator's office and county attorney's office for we're looking to, the best way to locate individuals who both owe or are owed money. In doing this change to CE financials, we need to close a lot of accounts that have been old, and we don't know if these people are deceased. Some are owed restitution, but we need to bring closure to some of these accounts. And locating those individuals, we have to show the state that we've done due diligence in that pursuit of identifying where these individuals are. And we're looking to join forces within the county and a system that can help us do that most efficiently. White pages just is not cutting it for us. That's kind of it's not giving the information we need in real time to locate individuals. So, but I'm going to withdraw that MOE on that aspect of that, but I just wanted to kind of give a verbal overview of where we're going with the department and what we're pursuing. I do have 2 MOEs for the acceptance of funds. The first is the DCJS Alternatives to Incarceration for the term of July 1st, 2024 to June 30th, 2025. This is our standard renewal. This has been the same amount since I can remember that the state awards us for our ATI program.
Healy will move it.
Thank you. And a second?
Stockham.
Thank you. Discussion. This is easy. We're accepting money. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that is carried. Thank you.
And the second MOE is the New York State Stop DWI Foundation had unused funds within their reserves in the state, and we were able to make application for those, and we were granted. We projected a need of $15,000. We've been very aggressive in the high visibility enforcement campaigns, HVEC campaigns, formerly Crackdown, and we had used a lot of those resources to support law enforcement in the communities for those special events on St. Patrick's Day, Super Bowl, Memorial Day. You've probably seen the notices out there. We spent it very quickly. We were able to get that money into the law enforcement agencies very quickly, and we were able to reapply for additional funding. They gave us a full $15,000 award for that for the rest of this calendar year to continue to support that through these summer months of high risk for DWI offenses.
Excellent.
So,
A motion, please.
Demical move.
Thank you. A second?
Barnes.
Thank you, sir. Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that is carried.
this will be a nice segue into the next part here. I think our ability to request and make a strong case for additional funding is a large part due to the teamwork of Jessica McKnight, who's here to present, and so many others. The state has recognized we're doing good work here with this program, and I think it shows when we asked for. I would have been happy with half that, but they came with the full amount. I think they're recognizing the hard work, and I think I'll at this point hand over Jessica McKnight. She wants to present something on the mock crash affiliated with our interventions in the community with Stop DWI. So that's all I have. I'll turn it over to Jessica if that's okay with you.
Thank you very much. Welcome, Jessica.
Hello. All right, on May 2nd, Allegheny County Stop DWI held its second mock crash under new leadership. I would like to thank those of you from this committee who took time out of your day to come show support. This year, we offered a countywide mock crash event. We had 10 schools in attendance, which was approximately 450 students. In addition to the mock crash, we offered some time in the morning for the students to see demonstrations by our Sheriff's Office, New York State Police, the Amy Stock Memorial Crash Trailer. Several fire departments and ambulance squads were there for recruitment. There was also a few other organizations who offered demonstrations. I would like to thank the students, teachers, fire, EMS, and law enforcement personnel that participated to make this an extremely memorable event. Thank you to my fellow probation officers who took time out of their busy schedules to come help for the day. There are so many people to thank. We have taken time and the opportunity to post all of those thank yous on our County Stop DWI Facebook page. A special thank you to Scott Lanfair from Medical Transport Services and Tim Hand from our Sheriff's Office. Without their teamwork, this event would not have been possible. The video that you are about to see is just a snapshot of the many hours of work that made this event a huge success.
Nine 911 Center, what's the location of your emergency?
I'm Abby Sullivan and I'm a senior at Belfast. I was a passenger in the car of the drunk driver and I had my dead best friend in the back seat.
Okay, I'm sending an ambulance to help you now. Stay in the line and I'll tell you exactly what to do next.
I'm Kendra Bigelow. And I'm Cassie Hand. We're seniors from Genesee Valley. I was the dead person in the silver vehicle. I was the driver of the red car and I also made the 911 call.
Can you see the other vehicle?
Yeah. People are walking around. I can see 2 walking around. Now I can see 3.
I'm Sophie Bolzan. I'm from SIO. I was a driver of the middle car. I was texting and driving, and we were racing.
Allegheny County to Angelica, Belfast, MTS, ALS response, the Allegheny County Fairgrounds, where they reported 3-car motor vehicle accident with serious injury, ejection, and unknown entrapment.
I'm Lexi, and I'm from SIO. So I was scared, and then I was just sad. Like, I actually started crying at the thought of something happening to my friends because of this.
Ryan, Life FM7 is overhead, looking for a landing zone update, and then you're ready for us to land.
It was just so crazy. Like, you get this gut feeling, and like all my emotions just came out, and I was crying and screaming, and I couldn't breathe. It definitely felt real. It definitely opened my eyes to seeing just like how dangerous this all can be. It's just a terrible thing. I hope it got the message to people. It was nice to put that on for the schools. I really hope that people took it seriously because it's a really big issue and it impacts a lot of people around here, especially around, nicer weather. It's prom and people are starting to get out and hang out again. I just hope that they see it and they know that this is a real thing. It can happen to you. It can happen to your friends. Just don't do this. It's awful.
On behalf of the Public Safety, on behalf of the Public Safety Committee and myself especially, this was very well done, and thank you.
Thank you. I would also like to thank Jeff Babbitt, Jeff Labeni, and Chris Graham from Genesee Valley Central School, their technical assistance in the production of this tremendous video. I would also like to mention that the video that I showed last year of last year's mock crash won an award this past fall, and if I could just take a moment, I'd like Scott Lanfair and Neil Green to please kind of explain that a little bit more.
So Neil and I obviously worked on the EMS side.
Last year, we submitted the information to the New York State Department of Health for a recruitment retention grant. Last year's event, we utilized a bunch of seniors that were in the fire department and really put out the recruitment piece that, you know, we had the seniors move forward out of the crowd and get into their gear and really go to work. And I think it really helped with recruitment. Neil was in charge this year, and he took a little different approach on recruitment and retention. I'd like him to just talk about what he did and his crew in Belfast.
So this year, one of the, Jessica's had it set up nice for all the things ahead of time for the students to come and see ahead of time. We also took the opportunity to pull one of these students who wasn't prepared to be pulled and put him right into the middle of what we do, in the hopes that he'll go back and spread the word, and hopefully we can work on our recruitment. One of the things we need to work on is the ability to get some of our young people to start being involved more into what we do. And that will come about when we have these types of drills, events, where they can actually become involved. So, overall, I think the students were very receptive to what we did, and we're looking forward to the next event.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Next up, I have Director of Weights and Measures. I don't have a report. I think it's a clerical error, so we will just move on down to the Sheriff's Department. Under Sheriff Mackney, you're up, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Sheriff sends his regrets. He was unable to attend today. You have copies of his reports. If there's any questions, I will do my best to try to answer them. And hearing none, I'll move on. So we have an MOE requesting the purchase of an all-terrain vehicle, utility vehicle, used by the Sheriff's Office in support of emergency response for critical incidents, as well as proactive patrols for special events. It'll allow us to better serve the citizens of the county along with our first responders. It'll also be available for utilization by other agencies at their request for us to come on system.
Healy will move it.
Ralph
second.
I'm actually still looking for it. I beg your pardon.
I thought that was pulled from the agenda packet.
Was it?
I think it was. This requires that we make sure it's competitively bid or we get it off of state contracts. We got to do a little bit more research on the actual purchase of it. But I do know the board has discussed buying one in the past, so we will get that taken care of for a future agenda.
I'm confident that the committee and the board will authorize that as soon as all the clerical Ts and Is get crossed and dotted.
Well, then I will skip ahead.
Yes, sir, please.
And I'll withdraw my motion.
Excellent.
So we have an MOE for authorization to apply for a grant. It's a New York State Department of Homeland Security Emergency Services Operations Grant. The grant's awarded yearly in the amount of $10 million, which is shared throughout the 57 counties and the city of New York. We don't know exactly the county's share of the amount at this point.
Demick will move that.
All right.
Healy will second.
Thank you. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is carried.
And we have another one, which seems similar. The difference is the amount, and again, it's the same type of thing. This is part of a $45 million share that's distributed throughout the 57 counties of the city of New York. And this is used to enhance our 911 public safety radio communications. The other one was going to be used for electronic equipment in the county's 911 center. So.
Okay, I'll take a motion.
Rumfelder move.
Thank you. And a second?
Healy.
Thank you. Any more discussion on this topic? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that is carried.
We have another MOE, requesting a resolution authorizing Allegheny County to enter into an agreement for professional services with Mission Critical Partners LLC. This agreement would allow them to assist the sheriff's office with a needs assessment, procurement, implementation, and oversight management services to support upgrades to the existing public safety radio network. Upgrades to radio network will allow Allegheny County to better serve the citizens of the county along with our first responders.
Stockton moves.
Thank you. And second?
Seer.
Thank you. And discussion? I notice this is covered by a grant, which is
Yes,
good.
sir.
Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is carried.
Okay, we have a request to fill a position. This is for a corrections corporal. It's an existing position, and it's already budgeted.
Rumfeld will move.
Seer seconds. Thank you. Discussion?
This is, how long has this been unfilled?
Hey, drivers? Couple of months.
Due to retirement or what?
Reassignments.
Okay, thank you.
Further questions? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is carried.
We have another request to fill a position. It's for a deputy sheriff. Again, this is an existing position, and it's already budgeted.
Rumfeld will move.
Demical second.
Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is carried.
Another request to fill for an emergency services dispatcher. Again, it's an existing position, and it's already budgeted.
So move, Seer.
Rumfeld will second.
Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is carried.
We have a request to create and fill for a supervisor for the emergency services dispatch. It's a newly created position.
So move, Seer.
Rumfeld will second.
Thank you. Discussion? You didn't mention, but I see it's budgeted.
Yes, it is.
This is good. Other discussion?
There's actually two of them, yeah.
Yeah, there is two of them. That's correct. Times two,
First and second's good, times two.
something.
Okay.
Okay, further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried.
And finally, another
Ellen.
request to fill a position. This is for a corrections sergeant. It's an existing position, and it is already budgeted.
Rumfeld will move.
Demical second.
Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed? And that is carried.
That's all I have.
Anything else for the undersheriff? I think you're released, sir.
Thank
Go in
you.
peace. Okay, lastly on my list, we have a resolution. Carissa, is that something you'd like to introduce, or how do you want to handle this?
With the chairman's permission, I'll do it.
Please.
Okay. This is something that Fire Advisory Board approached us with at their meeting last month. OSHA's pondering a change to the fire brigade standard, which would affect volunteer and paid fire agencies. There's a lot of concern in the fire community that the new standard would just be unachievable and would open up our agencies to liability and litigation. So with that in mind, they asked us to show our support for their position in opposition to the changes to the standard. That's what this resolution addresses.
Demical move it.
Rumfeld will second.
Thank you. Further discussion? Hearing none? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And opposed. And that is in fact carried. Thank you. Well done. Any unfinished business? Any new business?
Motion to adjourn.
Whoop. Stand by.
Mr. Chairman, I have something that I feel is for the good of the order.
All right, be kind.
I'd like to take a minute and say I'm not happy with the proceedings of hiring a new fire coordinator. I stand for the majority of the firefighters in this county on this subject. It's made a complete mockery of every volunteer fireman and firewoman that donates and dedicates their time, their life to this passion to serve their community. Jeff Lucky was let go with 2 days' notification, extremely unprofessional and a negative image upon the county. I do not condone the actions of the county administrator. It has been secretive and unprofessional at best. This Public Safety Committee has no knowledge of anything going on. It's all been behind closed doors with these people. The opinion of the firemen has not mattered, and there has not been any action taken to show that their opinions do matter. I hope these words are not taken as being offensive, but I would hope my words would be a wake-up call. A wake-up call to do better for your constituents that they hired us to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sear. It's important to note that those are Mr. Sear's opinions and not the opinions of the committee.
Mr. Chairman,
Sir.
I'd just like to point out that normally we don't comment about personnel matters publicly, nor at committee meetings. Thank you.
That is correct. Okay. Mr. Rumfeld.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, sir. Second. Or we could stay. A second? Somebody? You want to second that motion?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you very much. Good meeting.